Good
morning.
Look at you, your bun is slayed. Look at her. Oh, and we matching too. That's not intentional. Hi guys, welcome back to Naya's News. So for this video, it's going to be another exciting video. I'm going to be doing a story time with my mom about the time that she had to pay for my parking ticket that was $450 or $490. So we're getting ready to head out with her girlfriends. We're actually going to film the story time in the car. I'm not really sure what that is behind me, so I'm going to face this way. But yeah, I thought this was a fun video to bring you guys along. And cue the video. I'm out, y'all.
Good morning.
Look at you, your bun is slayed. Look at her. Oh, and we matching too. That's not intentional though. But so I was off from school one day and I was going out to hang out with my boyfriend, my ex-boyfriend at the time. And we were probably going to like the movies or something. We were doing something. And I used my Metro card to go see him, but I was off from school. And I got stopped. The police officer, it was two. It was a guy and it was a female cop, and it was two female. It was two men cops, I'm sorry. Two male cops, and I was on my way to see him, and I got stopped. The officer pulled me off of the train. When I say pulled, he asked me to get off the train, so I got off, not understanding why he told me to get off. So he started asking me like where I was going. I told him, are you in school? No, I'm not, so I got a ticket. I didn't think nothing of it until he started like checking the ticket. First of all, I want to know, he had to look in his book to see the code of that ticket. So that's probably the first ticket he ever gave, nonetheless. So I got off, and at first the ticket was $50. So this is where the $490 came in from $50. So he asked me about like what my mom does for a living, and at that time she was working for food stamps in Medicaid. She was working at the food stamps office, and he asked me what my mom does for a living, and I told him, and he was like, can your mom afford that? So I looked at him like, yes, my mama could afford that. Don't try to play my mother. I took it real personal. And then he put it up to $100. So I'm like, my mother could afford that too. Like, you ain't talking about nothing. Then he increased it, and I didn't realize the other cop that was standing there, he had his head like this, like mind you, they had my handcuffed to like the bar rails that's in the train station, and he was like, he had to do that because I was a threat. Mind you, you're the one with the gun and the baton, so how am I threatening you? Nonetheless. So it was $100. Then he asked me, are you sure your mom can afford this? At this point, I feel like he was being a you-know-what. So he checked it up to $200. I'm like, my mother can afford that too. Like, what you saying? Like, she can afford that. Not realizing eventually she's going to have to pay all that money. So it went up and went up. And at the end, it was like $300 or odd dollars, or almost $400 for the ticket. Then I came home and told my mom. My mom was, of course, cursed me out. Like, what's wrong with you? Why would you do that? She has, like, what I want to say, like a little smidge of road rage. Not really, because she can drive. She was driving like she stole my grandfather's car at like 12 and started driving into the city. Oh, she lost her mind when she was a teenager. Nonetheless, back to the story. I told my mom about the ticket. Of course, she was upset. She cursed me out and all that stuff. All the usual parent stuff, you know? And the day we went to go pay the ticket, I guess we didn't go to like the right, I guess, borough or whatever, or the main borough where it wasn't, we had to go to Brooklyn. Of course, we wasn't going to Brooklyn because couldn't do that. So my mother had to pay an extra $150 to expedite the ticket so I wouldn't get a warrant the next day. She was dumb tight. And then she didn't even really pay the ticket. My dad did, because she basically told him, I'm not paying that ticket. And then my stepfather was like, well, she ain't do nothing wrong, Joe. He had my back. He was just oblivious to the fact that I just ran a $50 ticket to almost $500. He just didn't care. So my mother ended up she told him, you gonna give me my $490 back. So just made him. And then, of course, tell your side.
We went to the court to pay
paid the ticket, and they said we were in the wrong borough. So I had to pay it because by 10 o'clock that night, she would have a warrant. And I didn't feel like nobody come knocking at my door. They could have took her.
That's what they see.
They could have took her.
It was just a matter of them knocking on the door and waking her up for work and stuff. And she was very the type of parent, she didn't want to miss work. Like, we was bad in school. The teachers better catch us before she clock in, because once she clock in, oh well, y'all just gonna have to fit for herself until 4 o'clock till I come get her. She was very one of those.
Yes.
And then, my dad had to pay. My dad ended up paying the ticket probably like twice, because first of all, my mom was mad that she had to pay the ticket. Then she had no issue of me going to see him. It was just she just probably thought I just had coffee to get there, knowing her. Lo and behold, I used my school Metro card to get there. And then that was probably a bad thing to do because we're not even together anymore. But nonetheless,
Less to none.
nonetheless, we're not even together no more. So I don't think that was really worth it. But I just think it was very funny because I think my brother had made like a comment about like, see, now I was the only one without a quote unquote record. So my brother had made a comment to my mom and was just like, well, I guess all your kids are just delinquents now, because I ended up getting a ticket. But it was just real stupid because it's just like, don't do that. Like, why would you have? It wasn't necessary. To me, it wasn't necessary. But my mother was.
You should keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, I do. But they wasn't about to play talking about. I don't think it was just the way he said it. It was like, oh, can your mother afford this? What you mean? You don't know my mother. You don't know what she go through. Yeah, she can afford that. She can afford a lot more stuff if you want to ask me. Like, I was thinking like that. The ticket, she ended up paying the ticket. The ticket was off my record, quote unquote. But it was just like, don't come at me. Don't come at me and my mother. Like, don't do that. Don't come at me like she like a bad parent. Like, we about to come for you. And my dad had to end up paying the ticket twice. My mom went to his job. My mom went to his job, and told him while he was on lunch. And one of his co-workers was like, oh, there she go. She coming for her money. And he like had his head like this and all this stuff. But yeah, so that was like a little quick story time about the time that I got a ticket and my mom had to pay her $450, $490. You want to be really exact about that. $490. It was bad. Hi guys, so I wanted to give a shout out, and this week's shout out is going to go to Naomi Shump Mamba. Shout out to you, Naomi. Thank you for the constant love and support. And if you would like a shout out in one of my videos, don't forget to comment down below, like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.